Kofi Awana from Afrorevo TV. Gabi Converse. And then last but certainly not the least, Thomas Rosso. Okay, to start off, I would like us to just take a few brief minutes to basically introduce ourselves and let's know who we are. My name is Greg Odutayo. I'm privileged to moderate this session. I'm a media entrepreneur. Royal Roots Communication. We have the Royal Roots Cinemas, Royal Roots TV, and Royal Roots 92.9 FM and Royal Roots 107.1 FM in Lagos. We also have production facilities, and so basically we say we play within the whole value chain from production right up to the end of distribution. That's me in a nutshell. I'm the group managing director. So I'll come to Boye Pape.
Yep.
Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I was a sales agent for more than 20 years. So selling films around the world, and but I wanted to get closer to filmmakers. So I launched my company 2 years ago, and I focused myself on the continent, African content, and some Middle East. I don't consider myself as a producer because I don't fabricate. I'm more like a facilitator to producers on the continent to raise the budget to do their films. So that's what I do. My company is called Black Big Mac.
Okay, nice meeting you. Okay.
Okay. Morning, everyone. My name is Okwe Ajayi. My name is Okwe Ajayi. I'm the president of the Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria. I'm also the CEO of Cinemax Distribution. So I'm a film distributor and a producer. I also spent the last 10 years in Genesis, which is one of the leading cinema chains in Nigeria, before starting up Cinemax about a year ago. So great to be here.
Thank you, Okwe. Modu?
Yeah, good morning, and I'm Modo. I am the CEO of DIFA, which means Distribution Internationale de Film et Fiction Africain. It's an independent distribution company based in Paris for the moment, and we have offices in Abidjan and Yaoundé. We are specialized in sales, distribution, and also promotion of African content, only African, and our catalog is 1,200 hours of films and series made by more than 150 producers and directors from 35 countries in Africa and some of the diaspora. Our goal is to make sure that all the content we have will be monetized on the various supports and everywhere in the world when they need African content, and we repay immediately as a producers when we made a sale. Our company is a small company, but we are, as the market is changing, we are now changing the structuration of the company to address better the issues of the new market.
Thank you, Modot. It's interesting for me that all you distribute is African content, and this is Afrique. Welcome.
Thank you.
To Shako, our only woman standing, and well represented. A big round of applause for Shako.
Hello. Thank you. Hi, my name is Nadira Shakur. I am the co-founder of Nollywood Week Film Festival, which is a film festival that takes place every year in Paris, France. And we showcase Nigerian films, the best of the year. And we then launched Okada Media Distribution. So we also have a distribution company that also does production. And we produce and distribute films from African and African diaspora filmmakers to get them out onto a global stage.
Thank you, Shako. Murphy, Forever TV.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Murphy Anawana. I'm the CEO of Murphy Ben International, which is the parent company of Forever TV, the largest YouTube partner in Africa. We're also the owners of Vibes FM. We have over 80 dubbing studios located in different African countries. So if you need your contents dubbed into any language, French, Swahili, Hausa, Yoruba, any language, we are here for you. We're also coming up with a streaming platform, Revo Plus, which will be, launching it softly by next month. So that's also another avenue for some of us that also want to monetize their contents elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Murphy. And Gabe Converse?
Good morning. My name's Gabe Converse. I'm from The Refinery in Los Angeles. We're an entertainment marketing company. We have about 150 creative employees in LA, or mainly the US. We work a little bit remotely now. And then this past spring, we opened an office in Lagos. So we have editors and producers and graphic artists who are working for us right here in Nigeria. We do trailers, TV spots, commercials, key art. We're kind of we're an agency that does it all. We have many amazing creative people, and it's very exciting to be working more closely with African companies now.
Thank you, Gabe. I got that wrong all the way. I think it's a French influence on me. Just twist everything in my mouth. Apologies for that. And last but certainly not the least, Thomas.
Thank you very much. I'm Thomas Rousseau. I work for Critics Week, the Cannes Film Festival parallel section. We have been selecting first and second features for more than 60 years now. And it's a small section in Cannes. It's 10 films every year, 10 features and 10 short films. We regularly select African films, starting with La Noire 2 by Sam Ben Ousmane, which was the first African film to be shown ever in Cannes. It was at Critics Week. And 2 years ago, every year we have African films, and 2 years ago we showed Gravedigger's Wife, which is a Somali film, and also Feathers, an Egyptian film. So there is a focus, I think, that we try to keep every year, and to see who are the newcomers from African cinema. But I must say that I don't think there have ever been a Nigerian film in Critics Week, so that's why I'm here, basically.
Welcome, Thomas. So you've heard why he's here. Nigeria needs to be represented at Cannes. So we hope that after this brief experience, we will have a Nigerian film showing in Cannes. So we're here to talk key distribution and marketing strategies for African filmmakers. It's interesting, the panel that we have before us, producers, distributors, festivals. How can we, in the last few years, there's been because I'm sitting in an exhibitor position now, I'll say the incursion of the Netflix, the Amazons, and Netflix and Showmax onto the space. And it's going to make the landscape a little bit more difficult because, yes, the cinema gives a completely different experience. But how do we reinvent ourselves as exhibitors and as filmmakers? How do we strategize? What do
So the landscape has changed significantly over the last 5 to 10 years, speaking even globally and locally. 5, 10 years ago, if you released a film, your first and only option was to go to cinema. It was a major option if you had a big budget film. That has changed significantly. You can go direct to streaming, you have all the options. I think the key thing, first from the producer perspective, is to determine what your objectives are for the film and how you want the world to receive the film. I think it goes a long way into the type of film you're making. I think from the exhibitor perspective, I don't see, there will always be, content will always be king, there will always be, there will always be need for content for all platforms. I think that the kind of films that will go to cinema will be very distinct. I think those are some of the changes we're starting to see. The sort of films that do well in cinema are films that have, huge stars with, huge social media following, with simpler stories, action, sort of genres that will do well in cinema. So I think pretty much what will happen is that there will be different content going to different platforms. Aside from ensuring that, new technology is, being put in cinemas and so the experience is great. Yeah, I'm not sure there's much that can be done. I think I like to see it more from the positive angle. Because also with the streamers coming into the market, there's also more investment. So better things can be made as well. So I think holistically, we're in a much better place as an industry, and that's how I like to look at it. Good. Well, I'm now perfectly as an industry. I did very well with you. How do we ensure that the content that are prepared, how do we ensure that the content that is tailored to our audience? What's the production perspective in terms of the first thing I'd like to say is that we cannot consider African cinema different from the rest of the world first. That would be the biggest mistake. Thanks to the technology you mentioned, people have access now to very different content all over the world. I'd like this example. If you notice in the history, music is the pioneer in terms of entertainment. What happens with music is, I like this example. One of my best friends, lives in Tokyo, in Japan. His son is a Nigerian rap star. That wouldn't happen like 50 years ago. Thanks to the technology today, people have access to everything. So we must not consider ourselves, African cinema, different from the rest of the world. And by saying we need to market the content differently from the rest of the world would be a big mistake. We should see ourselves as a part of the global village. Exactly. In terms of the kind of content we make, but I want to be selfish. I want to be African. I want to push out only African content. I know it's impossible. I know Hollywood and the rest of the world will still have a big place. So you take African content to the Hollywood, to the film festival that you have in France. What has been the experience? What should we look for? What should we present to that audience that we have created?
Okay, yeah, so that's a big question, but I would say in kind of connecting to your first question is that in the past decade, because we've been running the festival since 2013, so over the past decade, there's been a huge change in the way that people have consumed Nigerian and African content. Now we have Afrobeats. Now we have a lot of things coming out of Nigeria that people know what Nigeria is beyond some of the negative headlines that we've seen in the news. So it's been much easier to receive that. But our audience, first of all, I want to say the French audience is, and the European audience is not a monolithic audience. We have a lot of first and second generation Africans that live there. We have a lot of people from the Caribbean that are there, and they're also looking to identify with images that resemble them and stories that they can understand. So that's why we even started the festival. And so it's not a special kind of film that we need to make or change or create for that audience. It's an audience like any other, and they come to enjoy and consume it in the same way that they're enjoyed here.
Okay, thank you. Robert, in terms of what would you like to see from Africa in terms of content, in terms of in the global market? What exactly? I know our stories are some of the biggest sell, to the world, because you watch an American film, if it's a superstar film, whether it's Spider-Man or Batman, or they're doing the same thing, they're saving the world. But African stories are, they're big. What would you like to see? What would you like to promote? African village. It's a difficult question. What I like to see is good movies, good stories, good actors, and actresses. This is the point. And I'm not sure that I can agree with what Pape said, because yes, we have to consider the film industry in Africa as it is considered in other countries. But the market does not consider African content like all other content. And I'm quite sure I will consider the situation. I know many producers who have very strong movies from Francophone zone or from African English-speaking countries, and it's a nightmare to make a sale to a French channel. It's a nightmare to make a sale to an Italian channel. It's a nightmare even to release a film in Paris when it is an African movie. So, yes, of course, we have to do our best to do this, but it is quite difficult. And my experience is, and my knowledge is that it is very difficult to be successful in the international market if you are not first successful in your own country. And in many African countries, there is a very difficult market, very complicated market. Hello. Thank you very much. First and foremost is that I want to bring good news to film producers because apparently we have some of our producers have been, made to understand that you have to see this kind of movie or you must use so and so actor. Yes, it is true for some clients, like if you are dealing with the cinema houses, for instance. But the good news here is that because we've worked with YouTube a lot, we have a lot of information about, how people consume content. And you'll be surprised that, to know that some of the movies that may not do well in the cinemas, they are doing very well online. We have different communities, and they are all huge. And you also be surprised that some of the movies that do well in cinemas may not do very, very well out there. I'll give you an instance. When it comes to monetization, people that, where we make most money will be people from the West. But, Africans within there, most times, they want to relate with some stories that remind them of Africa. Now, the difference is, while Nigerians here want to watch movies that are a little bit Western, people that are going to pay the house bucks want to watch movies that are a little bit African. So, for a cinema person, what he sees is, okay, you must do specific kind of movies, using specific, type of actors. But in the real sense, the audience is not much larger than people that go to cinemas in Lagos. So for us, it's more of an encouragement for people to know, no, we're not going to restrict, your outlook to production. Instead, we want to enlarge it to let you know, no, whatever you have in mind, you have a very large audience. That's one. For us also, not just, I also mentioned that we have to come out with Radio Plus, which is also a streaming platform. But let me go down to what you asked. We're also in the business of, trying to bring a product in other languages because we also come to notice that, or to realize that a lot of people are actually interested in our content. So, for instance, we dub into French and you'll be surprised how many people are watching our French content. We have to dub into other languages. And sometimes people also want to relate with your content with the local languages that they're used to. So these are more of the things that you bring, to bear, in the space. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bobby. I'm still going to come back to you on that YouTube experience. I hear there's a lot of money to be made on YouTube. So you have to tell us some bit of that distribution strategy. What's unique about Apparego, and how can we, as filmmakers, how can we take advantage of that YouTube experience? I'll come back to you. Dad, refinery, you set up a facility in Nigeria. What's new?
So I came to Nigeria last year for the first time working with Amazon on Gangs of Lagos and Refinery. We've worked on most of Amazon's original films here. And when I arrived, I honestly had no idea what to expect. But what I found was just this amazing community of creative people who are passionate about film and television and entertainment. And so I figured, why not take the decades of experience that we have in Hollywood and merge that with local talent? Because the local talent obviously is very close to the material here, and so it allows us to collaborate together and create marketing that I think is just on another level right now.
Okay, so we'll come back to that marketing that's on another level. What should we as exhibitors, as producers, as distributors, what should we aim to do? What should we ensure that is inherent in our content? How to represent that content? Then I'll come back to you on the second round. Thomas, how do we get into time? The producers are there, you know, what has been missing over the years? What have we been doing wrong and good? And what do we need to do right?
I think the first thing is to actually send the films to Cannes, because from my experience is that we don't receive for critics speak, but in general in Cannes, we don't receive every film that is made and that could probably apply for Cannes. So the first thing is actually no censorship, no self-censorship. You can try, okay? And it can be expensive if you apply for many festivals, because every time there is a submission fee, but you can also ask for a waiver, and that's something that we do generally. So you should try. That's the first thing. Then I would say that once you have submitted the film, the second thing is that you shouldn't try to please us. You know, you should make your own personal, sincere, very, very intimate film, and not try to make a film to please a festival international audience, because especially in Cannes, it's not. It is the biggest market, but at the same time, as far as the selections are concerned, it is complementary to the market. So we try to really find the new voices and the most sincere ones, and the most original ones, and we found that we have a huge experience to finding very different voices. And this year in Cannes, in Critics Week, the films that won is from Malaysia. Last year it was from Colombia. The year before it was from Egypt. So it's very wide actually, and we are really working on this, trying to find every new voice. So again, do not try to please an audience like a theoretical selectioner.
We should stop censoring ourselves, and we should stop second-guessing what the festival looking for. Let's be filmmakers first and foremost. Let's satisfy ourselves, and let's put in the entries. Someone has told us they rarely receive entries from Nigeria, but I think a lot of us have been overthinking the process and doing that self-censorship thing, and then at the end we tell ourselves, okay, no, maybe next year, and we never get around to doing it. But I'm sure we will get around to it. I'm going to come back to you, Bob, okay? Let's get our questions ready. Questions, short contribution, if any. Boy, what do you have? What's your reaction to what Thomas has given us in terms of what can go into the Transcript Film Festival? More than 20 years, many things in Canada, and I do remember one example which was at the British, which was at the British Week. Yeah? Can you hear? Yeah? No? No? Okay. That's all. I was saying the example that I had in mind is the film, an Argentinian film that we had at the British Week years ago. And I remember in the editing room, when we were finishing the film, the director was like saying, "Oh, we should put the film because we're gonna please the festival." And we were like, "No, there's something to do first of all. First, you need to sell yourself, and if you have some integrity, you will go into the festival." Which happened actually. And the film was
have any questions for the panel? And we'll do a ladies first too. Let's make a question direct and direct. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cassandra. I work in distribution as a strategist. So my question is to Mr. Alain Modo. So I lived in France for a bit, for over a decade. And one of the things that always struck me was for a country with such a large African community, there were so many few films showing at the cinemas that were African. So, I mean, I know that there's the, l'exception culturelle and all of that, but beyond that, why is there this barrier for African films? And how can African filmmakers break this barrier, so to speak? What are they looking for? And this is not about pandering or anything, but as a filmmaker, you want to be able to have films that are released in other countries too, in other cinemas beyond online platforms. So what is it about the French cinema market or the European cinema market that is not quite open to African films? Thank you.
You are totally true, and I know that the market is growing, but not for the African content. What we are doing on an everyday basis with our catalog is to promote, to seek to meet all the potential buyers, not only in Africa, but also in Europe, because there are some international broadcasters like Canal Plus, like Star Time, the Chinese, like TV, like TV5, and of course we are very close to these clients in order to make sure that they will know what we have been helping, what kind of rights we have, and what kind of program they take for their own audience. But, it's not enough. First, because this is a problem. Secondly, there are rules in the French market and the European market where European and local, Italian in Italy, French in France, where there are rules for broadcasting, and there are quotas, and these quotas are fulfilled by local or European content. Of course, there is a rule for international content, but we have to compete with Argentina, with Korea, with USA, and the rule for African is very low. Even here in Africa, when you want to release your movie on the French-speaking territories, there are only one or two big companies like Canal Plus, the company and others, and it is difficult because there are a small room for African content and a big room for France, USA, or in-house production from these two companies. So the market is difficult. It's not a question of racism. It's a question of business, and people believe that they make more money with local, with white, with, USA films or series, and very small and difficult room to reach for local content, for African content. For instance, what I'm looking to compete with my first answer to your question, I'm looking for animated series, because there is a huge need for youth in Africa to see good series. I'm looking for youth series, fiction series, and there is no Disney to produce that kind of content here in Africa. I'm looking for good comedies, which are working quite well. But even when we are on this segment of the market, these content are not traveling very well, not because they're not so good or they're not good and high quality. I have some directors in my catalog who make great movies who have been selected in 10, 15, 20 festivals all over the world, and from Berlin to Toronto and others. And it is still difficult to penetrate the market with these movies.
Thank you. So we need to get that quota in place. And Cassandra, the question is answered. He's giving us all the insight as to where we are and how we can, get onto the
Ike, and mine is more of, and you want to get into the official selection, they're not going to take you. They'll probably take you to the other ones like the Fortnite, the Direct Fortnite and all that. So we need to know where we want our movies to go and see films that has been there, see the quality, so that when we are going on set, we know what to do.
Thank you, Ike. I agree with you to an extent, up to a point. You know, we must know the rules of the game. We must understand the rules. If you say 50 minutes, there's no point submitting a 30-minute film, you know. But the part I will disagree with you is in line with what Thomas said. Don't censor yourself before you even put in the entry. But censor yourself in the line of what are the rules? You know, let's observe the rules. But Thomas is telling us, open yourself out, make your movies, make those movies that make you happy. Make those movies that have that cross-international appeal. But don't censor yourself. Any other question? Let's take from here, and then we'll come back to you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Chemisi, and I'm from Burkina Faso. My question is generally open to the panelists, but I think that I would appreciate an input from Mr. Thomas. What's the place of documentaries in this conversation? How important and what's the value are we placing documentary films in this conversation? Thank you.
Very direct your question for me.
It's a very good question. Actually, the documentary is a crucial part of any distribution strategy, I would say. And in Cannes, there is a room for documentary. It's not huge, actually. There are other festivals that are directly dedicated to documentaries. But in Cannes, you have various documentaries in every section. In ACID, a lot, in the Director's Fortnight also, and in the official selection and in Critics Week. And also, you need to know also that short films, that's right, there are different rules, but you also can apply with documentary short films. There is room for that too. And there is a very strong appeal for documentaries in many markets in Europe, in the US, and there are festivals, there are distribution system, and there is an economy for documentary in itself. On TV, but not only on TV, on the streamers, I think, are very interested in that. And I don't know what is your experience with the documentaries, but I think that especially when you travel abroad, documentaries bring an image from the world to the world. So that's something that people are very interested in. And it works in the theaters also. You know, you have documentaries that win big prize and also have very big figures in theaters.
I agree with you. The documentary market is quite big, and it's getting bigger and bigger. We just need to find where this, and documentary is not like picture, it's not like sales. A documentary maker that has a good content will most likely find distribution faster than, a picture, because of the unique nature of documentaries. Do you have somewhere?
Legit was going to ask the same question that he just asked. My name is Charles. I live in New Jersey. My question was going to go to Gabe. I'm excited that you're in Nigeria and you're working with Nigerians. It's a lovely place when it comes to talents. So you're welcome. My question about documentary, I do African sports documentaries. And I was going to ask if what your accessibility is with documentary filmmakers, if you're open to working with them.
That question for me? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we work on all kinds of different projects. We work on documentaries, we work on theatrical releases, streaming releases. We work on a lot of different things. But I just wanted to kind of pick up what you're saying. It has been a really amazing experience because I think that, as everyone here knows, the content is getting better and better all the time from Africa. And there's a huge global audience out there. And so I feel like I've thought a lot about this the past year as I'm working on these projects.
I feel like sometimes marketing, I don't want to say it's become an afterthought, but it's kind of just something you have to do at the end of the process. But if you really put time and thought and money into your marketing at the end, there's millions and millions of people out there who you couldn't reach a few years ago, who whether it's key art or a trailer, like in 30 seconds you can grab their attention and they can be watching things from Africa that they never would have had access to before. So it's really amazing.
Thank you. Any more questions? We'll take 2 more questions, and then we'll take a final round-up from our team here. Yes, please.
All right. My name is Adu.